every country has its version of grilled meat. I'm talking about street food grilled meat. This is the Cameroonian version. Cameroonian soya is one of the pleasures of life. The meat is seasoned perfectly, then grilled. It is insanely good, it is smoky, it is spicy, and this is what I'm going to share with you today. Hi friends, my name is Precious and you are welcome to my kitchen. Today I'm showing you how to make Cameroonian soya. Right here I have about 3 pounds of beef and I'm using the beef part that is called beef chuck steak. You can use any part you like, but this is one thing I want you to note about the beef. Let it have a good marbling of fat because this is going to help with the flavor. 2 teaspoons of soya spice or soya pepper. You can make this at home and I have a video for that, or you can get it from an African store. 2 teaspoons of ginger powder, 2 teaspoons of garlic powder, 2 teaspoons of onion powder, 1 teaspoon of ground country onions. Even though the spice rondelle is known as country onion in Cameroon, which literally translates to native onion or traditional onion, the spice is very different from onion. It has its own unique flavor and aroma. You can get the powder from African stores, but if you cannot find it, leave it out. 2 teaspoons of beef bouillon powder, 2 tablespoons of light olive oil, salt and black pepper, or you could use white pepper instead. Start by cutting the beef into bite-sized pieces. To the meat, add the olive oil, soya pepper. This is spicy and it contains peanuts as well, so just be mindful of that. Ginger powder, garlic powder, onion powder, country onions, beef bouillon powder, a teaspoon of salt, and a generous amount of black pepper or white pepper. Mix to combine. You want to ensure that that seasoning gets into the meat and it's evenly distributed. So I'm going to evenly distribute the meat on my baking sheet here that I have a rack on top. I've also lined the sheet with aluminum foil. That's going to help for easy cleanup. So I want to ensure that the meat is well distributed. It's not piled up, you know, on one spot, so that it gets a really nice browning when it's in the oven. So I'm going to put that into the oven to grill until it looks brown on top, then we'll flip the side. While the meat is cooking, I'm going to go ahead and prepare the garnish or the pairing, because soya is always served with some sliced onion. It goes so good together with onion. So I'm just going to thinly slice some onion. You can see the technique I'm using. This is reminiscent of the way onions are mostly sliced in Cameroon. I should note that soya pepper is also known in Cameroon as cancan, and I only learned that when I moved to the US. That's funny. You know, I didn't know that that was a local name for soya pepper. The soya has been in the oven for about 15 minutes and you can see that it is brown on top. That's the sign that it's time to flip to the other side, because we want this meat to be brown all around. So it's going to go back into the oven so the other side can brown as well. So it's ready. It smells amazing in here. My husband, who is behind the camera, is so impatient. He cannot wait to taste it. So soya is either grilled on skewers or just big chunks that are later cut. This method is a method I recently learned from a friend. I visited her and she made this and I was just so in love. I'm going to place the soya on a brown paper bag just because, you know, on the streets they use like papers that resemble something like this, or sometimes old newspapers to serve soya, and I want this to just remind me of that experience. Okay, that looks so good. It looks really grilled, and that's what our little our rack here did for us. It gave it that grilled feel, even though it's done in the oven, but the flavor is amazing. Then I'm going to put some onions on the side and some toothpicks. My mouth is watering. Okay, I cannot wait. Okay, welcome to Cameroonian street food. Okay, take a piece of soya with a toothpick, served on a brown paper or a cement paper or newspaper, because that's where it has to be served. It has to be served on something like that for the authentic experience. Okay, dab that into the soya pepper, then you the layers of flavor in there, so good, so tasty.
Can I taste?
You already tasted. You already tasted. You guys, he already ate a lot. Like, he just cannot keep his hands off the soya. So good. If you want a Cameroonian soya recipe for soya that is placed on skewers and grilled in the oven, I have a recipe for that. If you want a Cameroonian soya recipe for soya that's placed on skewers and grilled on the grill outside, I equally have a recipe for that. Just check the channel, check my YouTube channel, or check the description box below. For the full recipe, go to my blog, preciouscore.com. That's it for today's video, and I'm going to see you guys in the next one. Bye!